Okay, doing a quick comparison of the Sennheiser HD 650s and the HD 518s. Had the 650s for about 2 or 3 years now, and I had the 518s prior to the 650s, but one of the drivers actually blew up after about 4 years with them. So this is a new pair that I just got because I found them. They came up cheap, used on eBay, and I thought I'd revisit them because I actually had kind of forgotten if there were any differences, and I did remember them as being a very comfortable pair of headphones. I never noticed any issues with them, but I think you do get very used to whatever headphones you use. In this case, because I've had the 650s for a while, you tend to forget just how good they do sound. And I certainly noticed it getting the 518s back. Not that they sound bad, but the 650s, I would say everything sounds a lot closer and more intimate, like you're in the room, especially higher frequency sounds like hi-hats and any cymbals, really, things like that. Compared to the 518s, you do tend to notice more sort of that phasey sound in the high end of certain songs. So I'll go through a couple songs in a second. Just to show the setup, I'm just using my RME UCX interface with simple headphone splitter. I don't have an AB, and in terms of the impedance mismatch, the 518s are significantly easier to drive than the 650s. I think the 650s are about 600 ohms. So I tend to just adjust the volume. But in terms of the impedance, having them both connected to the jack, it's not advised, but I put the 650s on my head and unplugged the 518s while I was listening through the 650s to see, and you can't notice the difference. So I don't think it's causing any sonic issues other than the basic issue of just them. The 650s won't be as loud as the 518s for a given volume. In terms of build quality, they're both pretty good. The 518s, because there's a bit more plastic, so this is plastic along here, whereas I guess this sort of heavy cage, I think, adds a lot of weight to the 650s. You do tend to feel the weight after, say, an hour or so of listening. And when I originally got them, they were super clampy, so I just widened them on a few books for a couple of days. The 518s, the drivers aren't, the cups aren't as deep as the 650s, so you do tend to feel the inside of the cup pressing against your ear, and this cushion seems like it's a slightly cheaper material, so you do feel it a little bit more. Besides that, they're both great pairs. Got the double wire on these. In my opinion, doesn't make any difference. I imagine the 518 cable will be slightly cheaper to replace. So let's just go through a couple of tracks. So one of my go-to test tracks is Red Baron, Billy Cobham. The drum sounds in it are just awesome, really punchy, especially his snare hits. 650s. I think these do leak a little bit more than these, but it's not a problem for me. I'm not using them in public. Yeah, just a lot of the fills hit you so well. There's one fill, this fill here, it's really noticeable. In the 518s, The bass guitar in this song sounds huge, in a good way, but there's less low lows and high highs on both sides, so they're kind of more mid-heavy, and then on the cymbals you do hear it's just like a weird kind of phasiness where it's not quite producing the whole sound as well as the 650s or as comfortably. So when the mix gets really dense when he's doing a big fill, it gets a little bit grating. I listen to that same fill on the 650s. The whole mix just sounds more balanced overall. It does seem like the 518s kind of focus it more to sort of more congested mid-range. But overall, you can't go wrong with the 518s, and they're certainly a lot easier to drive with your smartphone amp or an iPod or any sort of computer headphone jack, or a PS4 controller, things like that. 650s will struggle to get a decent volume out of any sort of consumer headphone amp that's built into the device itself. If we just hit up one more track that I was listening to earlier, just Stairway to Heaven. Where are you? Led Zeppelin 4. Here we go. Less noticeable on this track, the differences. If I go to the start of the main chorus part, or even the guitar solo, for really rock songs like this, the differences are way less noticeable, especially on the guitar solo where it's sort of focused on that mid-heavy guitar. Besides the difference in feel of the headphones around your actual ears. Not much in it, but yeah, overall, a couple of great sets of cans. Can't go wrong with either. I do think the 650s are worth the extra cost. And although you can't buy the 518s anymore, I think the 598s are pretty similar pair. I think they have the same drivers, maybe different pads, different headband. And yeah, thanks for watching.